in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd, fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim, rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, with the mercy and blessing of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today we are going to see and visualize what's happening on the day of judgment when people will be presented in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. If anyone of you have ever got a ticket, or you did something and you had to be confronted for it, you have to be responsible for it in the person of authority, or in front of your parents, or in front of a family member, or let's say, have you ever been to a real court and you had like a jury duty and you had to show up in a court? Then you can understand what's the situation over there, how people act over there, how you see the same people transform into more consciousness comes at that place. Like you're very careful in what you're talking and you're very careful what's going on. So this court is like no other court. This is the court in which everything is very transparent, like nothing is hidden. All the book of deeds and everything is really, really open. So what do we have to do? We don't have to be scared, but we have to be prepared. Just like if you ever get a ticket, or if you ever have to go to a court, let's say even if it's that jury duty, then you have to make sure that you have your identification documents, you have the necessary things that you need, and you show up on time and you take care of things. Now, on Qiyamah, Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Al-Hijr, فَوَرَبِّكَ لَنَسْأَلُنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. So by your Lord, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we shall certainly call all of them to account. عَمَّا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, for all that they used to do. So what do I have to think about right now for the day of judgment, for the Qiyamah? I have to write that I will be questioned on this day of what I used to do. Ya'malun. One thing is ilm, right, which is knowledge, but the other thing is amal, action. What action did I do? So inshallah, right now we're going to take some time to do hisab, Kabbalah's hisab, that before I am accounted for, I want to see where do I stand on the day of judgment, when the day, it's a long day of standing. Everybody, my father, my great-great-grandfathers, my, all the people who ever came in this world, they are going to be there. So what and how do I feel on that day? What is going to be my, response? What did I do? What did I not do? And that's where a believer, he makes dua in this dunya also, ma qaddamat wa akharat. What did I bring forward and what did I left behind? There's another verse in the Quran in which when the time of death comes, this person says, this is verse number 99, I might be, forgetting the surah, but that person says that Allah send me back to this world, la'alli, so that now I do all those things that I used to postpone, that okay, I'll do it, but now that I've seen the death, I want to come back and do all those things. So inshallah, this is the time, a reminder for all of us, may Allah help us value it, that we need to prioritize ourselves today. People spend a lot of time working on a job, working on a certain thing. The best project that we can ever work on is our own self, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to focus in our own self, check in with our own self, and as long as your today is better than yesterday, you should be on a good track. Never overwhelm yourself. Do take one thing, apply it, move on to the next. But at the end, the litmus test is my today better than yesterday? Am I connecting to the Creator? Am I becoming a more mindful person or not? Am I becoming a better version of myself or not? Now, the day of judgment is a day on which even the prophets are really, really scared to be in the court of Allah. Just imagine their level, their sacrifices, what went through their life. And that's an invitation. If you have not studied their seerah, it's an invitation for all of us to go through these, almost like 25 of them are mentioned in the Quran by name, right? So we go through their stories, and each story has a certain meaning. If we are a parent, we see from the story of Nuh alayhi salam that even his own son did not board the ship. 950 years of preaching and whatnot went into it. You look at Ibrahim alayhi salam, who is willing to sacrifice his son, and his son is so obedient that he's saying, if al-ma tu'mir, do whatever you're commanded to do, and countless, stories of sacrifice. Musa alayhi salam, who is, dealing with the Pharaoh, and still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him to go and speak in a softer tone, subhanallah, and invite him to the way of Allah. Isa alayhi salam, commonly known as Jesus, right? So even all these prophets, when you study what's happening on the day of judgment, they will not dare attend the court of Allah in person. Like, they will be scared. When people will be coming around and asking them that go ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to start the judgment, start the mounting, they will still be reluctant on that, and they will remember anything that they may have done wrong, and they will be remembering that. Now, on the occasion of Hajjatul Wida, Rasulullah, while addressing a gathering of more than 1 lakh companions, starting with one, like when start people calling to Islam, when he is leaving, he has like this huge congregation of people, and he's saying, "Oh people, one day you will be asked about me. Tell me what will be your answer. Tell me, who can make such a comment? What do you think? Who can make such a comment? A person who is conscious and who is mindful of their reckoning." And all the companions said in one voice, "We bear witness that you conveyed the message. You did full justice to your prophethood. You gave good advice to your people." Then Rasulullah raised his forefinger to the sky and said thrice, "O Allah, bear witness to it. O Allah, bear witness to it. O Allah, bear witness to it." So I want you to visualize just for a second, even right now, who else is in this room? Angels, subhanallah. And you know what, this time, this place, this all is getting captured, it's getting live streamed. On the day of judgment, we will see it, inshallah, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us that we live our life in a way that people are going to bear witness also in this dunya that yes, you tried, and we are also able to live that consciousness that what was my purpose, what was my aim of doing anything that I was doing, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us as as those who strive in his way. Now, once Rasulullah ordered Abdullah bin Masud to recite from the Holy Quran, Abdullah bin Masud anhu said, "O Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, should I recite the Holy Quran to you, whereas it was revealed unto you?" Rasulullah said, "I wish to listen it from other." What did we learn from this? That it has an impact. Sometimes you read something, it has a different impact, but when you listen to it, it has a different impact. So, the audiobooks and things, it has a different impact. So Rasulullah said, "I wish to listen to it from other." And Abdullah bin Masud anhu started the recitation of the Holy Quran. Now, when he reached this verse, he said, يومئذ يود الذين كفروا وعصوا الرسول لو تسوى بهم الأرض ولا يكتمون الله حديثا. How it will be then when we bring from each nation a witness, and we bring you, O Muhammad, as a witness against these people. Which day do you think this is? يومئذ. Which day? The day of judgment, the last day, right? Subhanallah. So this is the day when those who have disbelieved and those who have denied the messenger, they will wish that the land is flattened on them. لَوْ تُسَوَّى بِهِمُ الْأَرْضِ. In this world, they want the land to be flattened, get rid of them, and just they think, though, these are not even humans to live, and do whatever we want to do just to level them completely. Here you are saying, يَوْمَ إِذٍ يُوَوَدُّ. What means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is Al-Wadud as well. If you give yourself like a big tight hug and tell yourself that Allah is Al-Wadud, He loves you. Alright? Yawadda means that they will wish those who have denied kafaru wa asawur rasul, and those who have disobeyed the messenger. So I need to make a checklist. Is there any point where I'm disobeying the messenger? Is there some commands that he had given me and I'm just overlooking them and I'm just saying it's okay, and I'm going forward? Law tusawwa bihimul ard, they will wish that the earth is flattened upon them. Wala yaktumun Allah hadisa, and nothing will be hidden, that nothing could be hide on that day, inshallah. So Rasulullah said, "Oh Abdullah, stop." When Abdullah saw towards the Prophet ﷺ, the tears were flowing from his eyes. So this was their way of connection with the Quran. Like when they will listen to something, they get a reminder, they will visualize themselves on the day of judgment, and it will make them tremble. Not take it just, oh yeah, we'll see it, we will manage it on there, everybody will be there, we will also do it. No, they were really worried about it. when Isa alayhi salam will be summoned by Allah Almighty in his court, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask him, did you say unto men, worship me and my mother as two gods beside Allah? What is this referring to? You very commonly hear the word Trinity, right? The Father, Son, and the Spirit. You've heard about that? So you see the cross people wear, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking, he's like angry. He's like, Anta kulta linnas, have you sent to the people that ittakhizuni wa ummi, take me and my mother, ilahin min dunillah? Very soon, in the year you see these statues coming up and Mary's statue there and things like that. Isa alayhi salam will, before replying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will glorify and praise Allah and say, Ma yakunu li an aqula ma laysa li bihaq. It was not for me to say what I had no right to say. And he said, if I would have said that you would have known about it, and such thing that is in my heart, but I do not know these things which are in your knowledge. Indeed, is only you who know well all that is unseen. So after this initial conversation, Isa alayhi salam will feel, and he will answer the actual question, and he said, I said to them nothing except that which you ordered me to say, worship only Allah who is my Lord and your Lord too. So take your visualization. I know it's a little bit heavier when you read the whole tafsir of it, the context of it. You will see that how things are happening on the day of judgment. It's not like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't know, like that Isa alayhi salam didn't say that, but he's so angry with those people who made it like this, you don't want to even talk to them. And you will experience this as a teacher or as a mother, as a child. Sometimes your child misbehaves or something. You're so upset, you don't even want to talk to this child anymore. You want to talk to the rest of them who are good, and you're like, oh, is it something that we had to do? So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing Isa alayhi salam, and he said, have you told people that, this is what they had to do? And right now it's so common, right? That's what we hear in Surah Al-Kahf as well, that, the world, like they're saying that God has taken a son. That is such a big thing. Kaburan maqtan. It's a huge thing that people are saying, subhanallah. So here he is saying that, and then Isa alayhi salam is replying, and then what is he saying? After giving the answer, he will beseech for his absolution. He will say, وَكُنْتُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا مَا دُمْتُ فِيهِمْ فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي كُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيْهِمْ وَأَنْتَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيدٌ. And I was a witness over them while I dwelt amongst them, but when you took me up, you were the watcher over them, and you are a witness to all things. Then in the end, he will intercede for his people very humbly and very fearfully. And these words are worth highlighting. إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ إِبَادُكَ. If you punish them, they are your slaves. Allahu Akbar. And if you forgive them, verily only you are the Almighty, all-wise. This is in Surah Al-Ma'idah. So what is the takeaway for us? Wherever you are, inshallah, then try to do good and stop people from doing bad. Okay? You are not going to be answerable for what people were doing, but we are answerable for what we are doing at this point in time. Or any point in time, right? So inshallah, I have to focus on what I need to do. Am I creating khair or am I promoting shar, evil? That's a question that I have to do. And here he's referring back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you are the wise and full of hikmah. Now, if you look at this is how our prophets and those who came before, those who lived a conscious life. So there are some stories we're going to hear about these wonderful people. And I want us to think about it, like how much are we confident that, oh yeah, Jannah is for me. Allah has given me the best in this dunya, so akhirah is not a big deal. It's all mine. We live in that comfort zone. Many of us, as Muslims, we do not even know our own book. We look at the Arabic and we have no clue what's going on. We do not know the context, what's happening before. Right now, the enemies know our history more than even we do. And that's why they're manipulating, and this is why what's happening around the world, we are going through that situation. So it's big time that we come out of that comfort zone, come up with the reality check that those who were the best of the mankind, look at the way they were living and decide for yourself that what are you going to choose for yourself. Do you want to choose short-term gain and long-term pain, or do you want to work for short-term, do you want the best of both worlds? It's not like you have to pick one pain. You can work with best of both worlds, but you just have to be very clear in your focus that I'm not going to be scared, but yes, I'm going to be prepared. In that sense, let's say, sometimes people even feel afraid. We are living in a time in which so many people are going through even identity crisis. Just calling themselves Muslim, they feel scared, like, oh, something's going to happen, to me. Just because, I'm going to look Muslim or support something correct, I'm going to get in trouble. At that time, we need to remind ourselves that you don't need to be scared, but yes, be prepared. If something you feel like something is not right, just say the shahada once. We know that we're going to leave this world anyways. So why not, be in wudu more, say your shahada words often, repeat it often to yourself so that you can be, more vigilant about things. So Umar Ta'ala Anhu, while passing on a way, bent down, picked up a straw. Who is Umar, by the way? Who is Umar Ta'ala Anhu? What do we know about him? Nothing? So Umar Ta'ala Anhu is the Caliph of Islam. He is the second Caliph of Islam. He was so strong that even, the shaitan would change the way. And Rasulullah, he was a reason of Rasulullah dua that he came to Islam. Now Umar Ta'ala Anhu, his level, his stature, and majority of the welfare system that you see in British and all that, you see in their libraries, they have got it from Umar Ta'ala Anhu, what he has established at that time. So Umar Ta'ala Anhu, while passing on a way, bent down, picked up a straw and said, "Would that I were like this straw. Would that I was not born. Would that my mother had not given birth to me." Once he, radiallahu anhu, was reciting Surah Tur, when he reached the verse, "Inna adhaba rabbika lawaqi' ma lahu min da'fi'." Verily, the torment of your Lord will surely come to pass. There is none that can avert it. He wept so bitterly that he fell ill, and people would inquire after his health. So they were very conscious people, and that's why their actions were speaking about it, like they were doing those things actively that is supposed to be done. We see that Umar Ta'ala Anhu, in the 23rd of Hijrah, Umar Ta'ala Anhu performed Hajj. On his way back, he spread a cloth sheet and he lay down flat. He raised his hands to the sky and supplicated. I want you to write down these words as well, inshallah. And these are such power words that, "Oh Allah, I have become old. My nerves have got weak. My people have spread all over. Now lift me up in the condition that my actions are not wasted and the measure of my age should not exceed temperateness." Subhanallah. So this is a word of a person who has excelled tremendously, and if you read their life and their legacy, how they've spent it, this dua makes so much, subhanallah, it moves you to tears. Like what is their prayers at the end of the day? At the end of the day, what is that they are seeking? When a great companion like Abu Bakr Siddiq, one of the first ones to accept Islam, one of those who released Bilal anhu from slavery, and so many others, and you read about the companion on the Hijrah, he saw the birds, he heaved a cold sigh. And he said, "How birds, how blessed are you. You eat and feed in the world. You sit in the shades of trees. Your acts will not be counted on the day of resurrection. Would that I, Abu Bakr, were like you." So what does these comments make us think? It's not like they are escaping, but the thing is that they were so conscious of what was going on. They are so conscious that yes, even like, if you're eating a grape, that is going to be answerable. Even this nema right here, this water bottle. Imagine right now, millions of Muslims out there not even able to pass on one water bottle to the people in Gaza. Right? So even this will be questioned on the day of judgment. When Amr bin al-As was about to die, he raised his hands to the sky and supplicated, "O Allah, you ordered us to do certain acts, but we disobeyed. You restricted us from certain things, but we violated the restrictions. O Allah, I am not innocent that I may apologize. I am not powerful that I should dominate. Without your mercy, I am doomed." Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum bi rahmatika nastaghis. May Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to do acts that seek His mercy. Now, same thing if you see, Salman Farsi, who was a great companion, one of the person who helped with the battle of Khandak as well, with his, great strategies that he, advised. So Umar Ta'ala Anhu, when he appointed him to be a governor of Medina and fixed his salary 5,000 dinar, he distributed all his salary in poor and needy and made his living by knitting mats with his hands. When he's about to die, Sa'ad bin Waqat Ta'ala Anhu came to inquire his health. Salman Ta'ala Anhu, he started to cry. He was very sad. He asked, "Why do you cry? Why do you weep?" Salman Al-Anhu said, "By Allah, neither I fear from death nor have any worldly desire. I weep just because Rasulullah ﷺ took a promise from me that do not collect worldly wealth and part from the world as I am parting. Now I fear I should be deprived of meeting him on the last day." After his death, when he passed away, they calculated what he had. They went and looked. He only had like a bowl, a pot for ablution to make wudu, and a worn out blanket, a plate, and 2 bricks used as a pillow. And I invite you to read their legacies, like what have they left behind. Even, Umar Darda was the governor of Syria. Just think about like the dignitaries. Today we have, like leaders sitting in the comfy places and so indulged that they do not feel what's going on around. And he was the governor of Syria. Once Umar visited Syria, he reached the governor house in the evening. There was no system of light in the governor house. In one corner there was a pack saddle, a bed of few bricks, and a cloth sheet for winter. Umar Ta'ala Anhu expressed his wonder over it. At that, Abu Darda Ta'ala Anhu said, "Have you not heard the saying of the Prophet ﷺ? You should have only that much provision as of a traveler." Just let this sink in. When you travel, you pack your stuff in what? Like a suitcase in a bag. And even then, if you're traveling from let's say, you travel to one place to another, you even sometimes squeeze it in another small bag that you're just going for maybe an overnight stay or something. So you should only have that much provision as of a traveler. Hearing this, Umar Ta'ala Anhu wept bitterly. Abu Darda also began weeping till morning. So I want us to be very consciously looking around in our own closets, in our own home, in our things. Let's say I am to leave today. What am I leaving behind? What is that I have invested my time in it? What was my attitude with this life? We live this life as if they say plan as if you're going to live 1,000 years, but do as if you're going to leave tomorrow. I'm actually traveling tomorrow in an international trip. And I can feel these words right now, because as a traveler, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, how much load I have, like what I'm leaving behind, like the kids have to, deal with it and things like that. So you actually, Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us that inshallah, hearing this, may Allah remind myself and all of us that we have to remember the destroyer of all pleasures, which is death. And for a believer, this world is like a prison, a dunya sijnul moment, but the akhirah is something really, really beautiful for a believer. So, even another companion, when they came to his house, he's like, you don't have anything. And he said, I moved it to the place where the owner lets it stay. And that's the hereafter, inshallah. So try at least one thing that you really love. I'm not asking for something more, but try and ask yourself, one thing that I'm going to give to Allah for the sake of Allah today. And I want to hear it back, inshallah. That what you can share, you can write in comments, however you want to do it. But share one thing that I'm going to do today for the sake of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Solely and solely for the sake of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to consciously move it to my hereafter. I love it in this dunya, but I'm going to give it away for the hereafter. Umar bin Abdul Aziz Ta'ala Anhu kept awake all the night meditating over the accountability in the hereafter, and then fell fainted suddenly. His wife consoled him, but his heart never got consoled before his death. He advised his successor. Now hear these words, Allahu Akbar, Umar bin Abdul Aziz's words. I'm leaving for the hereafter. Allah Almighty will question me and take account from me. I will not be able to conceal anything from Him. If He gets pleased with me, I shall be successful. Allahumma ja'alna minhum. Otherwise, alas for my end. Adopt piety after my death, and remember, you will not live long after me. Do not be negligent and do not waste your time. So many action items that I can see here, that I do not need to waste my time. I need to know that I am not going to be on the face of the earth in a little while. So better invest my time properly, inshallah here. Why? Because Allah says in Surah Al-Zalzala, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. So once Imam Abu Hanifa rahimullah, he recited the Surah Al-Zalzala in Isha prayer. The people went home after offering the prayer. Imam kept sitting there till morning in the state of grief, uttering again and again, O Lord, who will reward a virtue having the size of a mustard seed? And who will punish for an evil having the size of a mustard seed? Save your slave, no man, from fire. Alright? So never underestimate, even if it's a tiny little deed. مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى. If you did a little, teeny, tiny little deed, Allah will see it on the day. It will be, there on your book of deeds, inshallah. So right now, enable you to find it in the best and the best of days. Now just consider a person so much afraid and horrified, once something happens and you are taken to an actual court. Now how would that person be presented in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala? Here you have just a lawyer, an attorney, but and the court of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, you and it's just your deeds. Here you can falsify things, you can hire somebody, you can make false facts, you can get away with it, you can do bail and you can just come out of it, right? But on the day of judgment, that's not going to happen. Here you can rely, mom, dad can help me, my brother, sister, my uncle, aunt, there are so many people, their loved ones who are all around for me, they can be there for me. It's not the case on the day of judgment. We all, each one of us, never ever think that, oh, my family is not doing it, so I am not going to, it's okay. No. Think about your own self. Just you came in this world alone and you're leaving this world alone, inshallah. So make your priorities very, very straight, inshallah. So in this world, there is possibility. Intercession is there, nepotism, bribery. But over there, there's no false witness which is possible. You know why? Because even our own hands and feet and mouth, they're all like, like a mouth will be sealed and our hands and feet will be talking. We'll be saying, no, we didn't have it. It's all sealed. Imagine, this is a verse in the Quran that even these hands will testify what were we doing, okay? And the whole life case will be dealt with. So may Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like He has put a cover on it, is in this dunya. Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, with His mercy, may Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala cover our faults on that dunya and help us live a conscious life. Help us not take it for granted. This is a very, very, like one of the most important topic, which is the most neglected. So, those who do not believe at all in Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's like atheism, right? That's completely different. But those, who have strong faith, what should they do? They should always be worried about it. Even last night I was listening to a person who is part of, like, it's just a comment for them, civilian killings in thousands and millions, kids blown apart to bits and pieces. They say it's just a byproduct of the war. Yarhamakallah. It's just a byproduct of the war. They say it happens, it happens as part of the war. So there is, like, Rasulullah told us, like a disbeliever will think of a sin and just like a fly just is on your face and you just do it like this. And a believer, if somebody, like you hurt somebody's feelings, you're like, I'm so sorry, are you okay? And you're so worried about it, subhanAllah. So even on my way right now, today, I saw like this big of a wooden structure on the road. And I unbuckled myself, it was a red light. I said, let me come out and take this out because this is like all the cars are like going around it. Even that looked like so big to me, and I was like, subhanAllah, this is an option for charity, like removing something harmful for the road. But a disbeliever, they don't feel anything about it. So as believers, we need to strengthen our faith. The action items: number one, I have to value my faith, inshallah, strengthen my faith. Second, I need to be worried about my standing in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right, I need to, and third thing is, I have to align my actions based on that. All right. So inshallah, ask yourself, whatever you're about to do, whatever you're about to go, whatever you're about to eat, whatever you're about to execute, just visualize yourself that I, myself, alone in the court of Allah. Knowing how prophets, the saints, the best ones are standing there with that mindfulness, I may not be able to achieve that one, but at least I can try, right? To be conscious. So we make dua that Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala have this, trying out also very heavy for us on the day of judgment, inshallah, with His mercy. And may Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us, open the doors for us, open our minds to it, that how can I increase myself in hasanat. Allahumma saqil mawazini. May Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in hasanat. May Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those on which Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala will look with rahmah, inshallah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, those who remember death often and have best prepared for it with good deeds, those are the wisest. In this dunya, if you sit with your friends and you tell them that, death is a topic that I need to discuss today, they will tell you, don't be a pessimistic. Oh, you're too much. You are too sensitive. You're an extremist, and they will have all kind of names, sufaha, whatever they will call. But most of the time, people will be like, oh, like, come on, let's go do this. Let's watch this. They want to avoid it. All right, but the wisest of the person is the one who remembers his death and prepares for it, inshallah. May Allah make us of those. May Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala help us dream it, dua it, and do it. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawm al-qiyamah. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from the distress of this world and the distress of the day of resurrection. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala firm our feet in this dunya as believers. May Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala firm our feet on the day of judgment in front of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala help us leave this dunya in a way that we are like, yes, we are ready to go in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this test is over, inshallah. So may Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all live shahada and die, with these words on our lips, inshallah, that ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.